then come up with plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and that's what we have done. By the way, we even have a plan for I showed you, the handheld rubber ventilator that's just a bladder that is manually operated, and we purchased 7,000 of those.
President Trump said this morning that New York had gotten a late start, that it had gotten far more supplies than that, and then, in the next breath, said that Cuomo was working hard. How do you make a sense of the president's criticism of the state and praise of you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. I don't know. I don't know how you square those two statements. I don't know that you can square those two statements. Got a late start on supplies. We started purchasing, and we probably will have wound up purchasing more than any state in the country. I will bet you dollars to donuts we wind up buying more ventilators than any state in the country. So we were very aggressive from day one, as you know. And again, that's on the assumption that each state is supposed to be managing this situation. But I thank him for his good words that he thinks I'm doing a good job. We're doing the best we can with all the special populations in prisons, in nursing homes, in homeless shelters.
Since there is a moratorium on evictions for the next 90 days, what happens after that if tenants aren't paying their rent? Should landlords evict their tenants after those 90 days? What would prevent them?
Yeah. Let's see where we are after 90 days. You know, a lot of these situations, what do we do about rent after 90 days? What do we do about income after 90 days? What do we do about infrastructure after 90 days? You know, so much of this is changing and fluid. I don't think anyone can sit here and tell you what the right plan is for any of these areas 90 days from now. I just want to get to 90 days from now and get there healthy, and then we'll handle whatever we have to handle.
Governor, do you have any updates on those ventilators that you purchased from China? You said you were expecting 2,500. Where has that changed?
We have not received, do you remember, Jim, Doctor?
It may be, we'll have to check whether they're going to be delayed because there have been issues, of course, with shipping internationally right now, but we'll get back to you on the exact answer of where they are on the 2,500.
Is there a number, what's the number right now of total ventilators we have, and how does with the BiPAP machines, does that bring us closer to, the target?
We have about 2,200 ventilators in the stockpile. That's what we have, yes. 2,200 ventilators. The number of people who come in per night who need a ventilator is somewhere in the range, right, because it's a little different every night. But if you wanted to be safe, you'd say like 350 people come in every night who need a ventilator. So 2,200, you see, disappears very quickly. What do? Try to buy more ventilators, and then plan B, plan C, plan D, and that's what we've laid out. There is no state and no country that has done anything to provide ventilators that we are not doing. We've literally looked at everything that Italy did, China did, South Korea did, every other state. We're doing more than any other state or country has ever tried to do in terms of backup contingency plans. And, beyond that, every day we try to find more, buy more, and be more creative. Who hasn't asked a question?
Yes, thank you, Governor. You said yesterday at the end of your remarks that this virus will change people. So my question is, have you changed?
Have I changed? No. I defy change. My kids will tell you that. Cara will tell you that. They have been trying to get me to change for many years. They have tried to teach me for many years. Intellectually, I think I'm open to growth and change. I just have trouble doing it in practicality. I think it'll change me. This is it's incredibly hard. It's incredibly difficult. My brother touched on it. You know, I take my job very seriously, and I take my responsibility very seriously. And I don't make excuses. I don't, if I fail, I fail. You know, if something breaks or something doesn't work, that's on me. I see those number of deaths every day, and I take that personally. And I feel the pain that families are feeling, and I'm doing everything I can, but people are still dying, and that is very hurtful and humbling and painful, just painful. And this is a long time to be under that level of pain. What do you look like when you come out the other side? I don't know. I don't know.
There is a company in Cohoes called Precision Valve and Automation that says they can make a contraption that automatically pumps a bag valve mask, the thing you demonstrated over the weekend, similar to a ventilator. Is that something you've looked into, and is that something viable? That could be for Dr. Zucker.
Yeah, I don't know if they have looked into it, but if they haven't, we will.
Will the new bail changes in the budget result in more people in jails amidst the outbreak? And did you look at facts and figures to see if a new change in bail law was needed?
Yes, well, no and yes. No to the first part, yes to the second part. Have we looked at facts and figures? We've discussed this for 2 years intensively. There's been all sorts of conversations. As you know, I had a meeting in this room with all the interested parties like 10 days ago.
So I just mean like the facts and figures from the rollout of the law in January until now, like what do those facts and figures tell you?
Yeah, everyone has been looking at the facts and figures and discussing and debating and analyzing. And there's been there's a range of opinion, as you know. On most matters, there's a range of opinion. And the bail reform that we did last year, I'm very proud of, because it was discriminatory in effect, if not in impact. And I think we made the right change now, and I think the improvements we made this year are the right ones also.
Governor, construction workers on projects that will be done for a while to the water terminals, Moynihan Station, and affordable housing are wondering why it's essential for them to keep working through the pandemic on these longer-term projects, especially sites that have had positive cases.
Well, essential projects are projects that are public works by and large, that the state needs and the city needs. You know, after this is over, we're going to have to get back to work, and we're going to have an economy that functions, and having infrastructure is an essential part of that. And a lot of these projects, once you start, you can't just stop, you know. Those airports are still functioning. Planes are still coming in. And LaGuardia is a whole configuration of physical barriers and alternative routes pending construction. So a project like that would be very, very difficult to freeze and then unfreeze. Anyone who hasn't answered a question? Okay.
There's a fail-safe for the Emergency Bond Act, or for the Bond Act for Restore Mother Nature. How do you make the decision on whether or not to pull the plug on that and on sending it to the voters?
It's basically on finances, so I would ask Robert Mejica what he thinks.
We're going to look at access to the market. Access to the market is pretty limited right now. We're going to be borrowing to deal with the short-term revenue shortfall. But by next September, next October, we'll look at the state's finances at that point, look at our access to the market, and then make a determination then.
How likely do you think it is that you do have to pull the plug on it?
It's hard to tell. How likely is it going to be that the economy is going to return to where it is next October? It's your guess.
What's the number in the total of short-term borrowing at this point? Is it $8 billion? Is that what we're looking at?
We're not sure yet, right? We're going to look at what the market will allow us to borrow, how much we have in reserve, and make that determination at this time, right? The shortfall between April and July 15th, is $10 billion. So it'll be somewhere between, between that number. We have some access to reserves that we have, so we'll make the determination then.
I'll tell you this. That the legislature and the executive got this budget or getting this budget done with all the initiatives that are in this budget is an extraordinary feat of government accomplishment. And I praise Speaker Heastie and Senate Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins and every member of the legislature. It would have been very easy to say, oh, this is an extraordinary year, let's just do the bare minimum and go home. They said the opposite. They said we have a lot of needs, there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed, and they stepped up to the plate and they did it. You look at that list of initiatives that are in this budget, you can put that budget against any budget that I have done in any normal year, and it would be a great budget. That it was done this year is really extraordinary. So I praise them for that. Anything I said that wrong, incorrect, misstated, don't be shy, now is the
I
time.
would just make the point that on bail, while there are additional crimes that are bail eligible, that's what they are, bail eligible, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to translate into more people. And I believe the effective date is 90 days from now, so it takes into consideration the current circumstance that we find ourselves in. There were 115 crimes that we moved to be alternate to bail eligible, so things like remote tracking and treatment and other things. So there was a heavy emphasis on that as well in the bail reform bill.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe. Stay safe. Social distance. Did the who, I'm sorry?
MRT recommendations, do you know when those are going to be released?
Did the MRT recommendations get
Many of the
delayed?
MRT recommendations were or are in the budget, which will be enacted. If the legislature votes for it, we have the ability to delay them in the budget. So the effective dates can be changed.
Should absentee voting be expanded for the June primary?
Something we're looking at. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. 18 years old again. Happy birthday.